Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to butt in real quick and let you know that I am interviewing Kathleen Marple Kalb later in this episode. So if you're interested in hearing a bit more about the author of this story, feel free to stick around and check that out. If you are a member, you will be able to hear the full interview. And if you are not, then you will hear about half of it. Thank you very much and enjoy the show.
Mysteries to Die For welcomes Kathleen Marple Kalb back to the morgue. Today's story features Flora and Frankie, daughters of Ella Shane, the diva who duels. Ella faces her most dangerous adventure yet in A Fatal Flourish, when the Gilded Age opera singer returns from a tour to find her new stepson charged with murder, her doctor arrested for obscenity, and a strange man pursuing her husband. Between performances, she'll have to solve the murder, clear her dock, and survive her highest-stakes catwalk duel ever. Coming this summer, 2026, from Level Best Books. Welcome to Mysteries to Die For. I'm T.G. Wolf, and I'm here with Jack, my piano player and producer. This is a podcast where we combine storytelling with original music to put you at the heart of a mystery. All stories are structured to challenge you to beat the detective to the solution. Jack and I perform these live, front to back, no breaks, no fakes, no retakes. In the world's most dangerous working environments, it can seem like everything is out to kill you. The equipment you use, the materials you work with, the very air you breathe. Stored energy is a coiled viper waiting for the right moment to lash out. Owners, manufacturers, contractors, and beyond have developed safety protocols to combat sticky, that is, stuff that can kill you. Gravity, motion, mechanical, electrical, pressure, sound, radiation, biological, chemical, temperature. This season is all about the means of murder, as authors put our sticky detective skills to the test. This is Season 9, Stuff That Can Kill You. And this is Episode 12, where electricity is our sticky means of death. This is The Current Situation by Kathleen Marple Kalb. All right, Jack. We are in the autumn of 1927.
Oh, is we? That sounds like peak accordion time to me. I don't know about you.
How about something jazzy? Isn't that like the golden age of jazz?
An accordion could play jazz. Let's see. We got some. We can do like something bassy.
I really like that.
Do you want the wah? That sounds odd. Ooh, a ride bass.
I like that. Feel like we should be in a smoky bar.
Smoky.
I like that one. I think we found it.
We'll go with that one then.
All right, you ready to jump in?
Yeah.
A shocking case. It's not especially unusual for a woman to kill her husband in our modern age. It is rather unusual for her to kill him with electricity, and for the authorities to be unable to find the source of the same. Even in the autumn of 1927, that was a stopper. Not that I was complaining. The confusion gave me a chance at clearing her, which might otherwise have been impossible. Better, it was a career-making case, a young lady lawyer's dream. Considering I was just about the only young lady lawyer in the New York defense bar at the time, I needed all the help I could get, and so did Beatrice Armitage. She was a most unappealing client, but her lay spouse was even worse. From the newspaper accounts, which I had no cause to doubt, Mr. Archibald Armitage was an old-fashioned robber baron, a food magnate known for finding ever more creative ways to adulterate his wares for profit. It was the family business. Earlier Armitages had made their fortune selling spoiled meat to both sides in the Civil War. His bride of 30 years was best known for abusing her servants, looking down upon her alleged social inferiors, and leading the local chapter of the Nativists Women's Group. An imperious female of Wagnerian proportions, she made an easy and immediate suspect. The police treated her as such, despite her loud reminders of her social status. They arrested her within an hour of their arrival at the family's Fifth Avenue manse. At that point, they believed her late spouse had been smothered. Mr. Armitage had been found in the bedroom late in the morning, flat on his back on the bed, in an old-fashioned flannel nightshirt, clearly several hours dead, with what one copper told a reporter was a surprised look on his face. Just in time for the afternoon edition, though, the medical examiner ruled it death by electrocution, but offered no explanation as to the source. By then, the police were already gone, shooed away by a butler as officious as his employer, and now they returned in force to search the home from garret to scullery. They found no electrical device to match the burn marks in what was described as an intimate spot on the late lamented's anatomy. But they were quite sure the wife did it. They were still at the arraignment that afternoon. Mrs. Armitage was formally charged with murder and released on one of the city's larger bail bonds. A short but slow taxi ride uptown later, she stomped into my Washington Square office, sneering. Trailing her was a man who looked like her lunch but was probably her social secretary. She took one look at me, and her displeasure with the events of the day hit their peak. "You are the defense attorney?" she asked. F.M. St. Aubin, member in good standing of the New York State Bar, I said, rising from my magisterial mahogany desk with my hand out to shake. None of her business that my name was Flora Malka from my grandmother's. Top of my class at Oxford and Columbia. Mr. Altis tells us a woman lawyer might be more helpful in this case, said the little man. Rowan Altis, my mentor, had been her attorney from arrest to arraignment. As a highly skilled and society-favored defender, he had more work than he could handle. Before the arraignment, he had called me. He phrased it as a career-making gift. However, he also admitted that he was giving her to me in hope that, as he put it, a British lady might have more success in controlling Mrs. Armitage. He pointed optimistically to my pedigree as a duke's daughter. And good luck to me, as my half-Jewish, half-Irish mother, noted American opera singer Ella Shane, would say. My client was standing there, looking at my outstretched hand as if it were unclean. Mrs. Armitage no doubt considered me a mongrel. As the child of a very happy mesalliance, I was well aware of, and not especially troubled by, the prejudice. She would just have to tolerate me, since I was the mongrel who might save her from the electric chair. Still, she did not have to touch me. Well, I began, putting my hands in my suit jacket pockets. My learned colleague, Mr. Altis, is right. Women lawyers often do better explaining female situations and motivations to a jury. There is a certain natural sympathy can be very helpful. You're too young and too pretty. She was wrong about the pretty, and there was nothing I could do about the young. It would fix itself in time. Hush now, Mrs. Armitage, the small man hissed at his boss as she finished the final word and turned to me, his pale face flushing. I'm terribly sorry, Miss St. Aubin. Mrs. Armitage is a bit overwrought. No doubt, I said, trying again for a shake with him, and not bothering to correct my title. I don't use the lady in court anyhow. Neil Clarendon, Mrs. Armitage's secretary. He did shake my hand. I've heard very good things about your work. I had heard exactly nothing about him. Considering the attitude of the Armitages, though, the practice of generous bequests for upper staff, I couldn't rule him out as a possible suspect. If Mr. Armitage was as charming as his wife, and I'd heard he was, any employee might consider him worth more dead than alive. "Thank you," I said, meeting Mrs. Armitage's dubious gaze. "Then let us discuss the case, make arrangements for a retainer, and we'll start work. I'll be bringing in my best investigator and a forensics expert to start." She sniffed. "All right. Now, about the retainer. How much?" I told her. Her eyes widened a bit, but then she gave me a canny little smile as her secretary brought out the checkbook. I understood. I must be good if I charge so much. She had no idea. I really like the instrument you chose for this.
You still like it?
I still like it, even with whatever that was, that barrel roll.
Barrel roll? Oh. So she's a rich woman accused of electro-cutting her hubby.
Yes.
All right.
So he is dead.
He is dead indeed.
He was found in his bed. Apparently they did not share the same bed.
Yeah.
It was by an electric appliance that they have not found.
So it's an appliance.
Well, they said it's an appliance.
Did they?
And in 1927 parlance, I think that means device, right? Not
toaster.
Necessarily. Right, not a toaster.
Could be a toaster for all we know.
I was snuggled up. It was a cold night. I snuggled up in bed with my toaster.
My toaster. Who knows? Who knows?
Bring in the live wire. An hour later, I had moved across the hall to the parlor. I was staring into a glass of whiskey and considering whether to light one of my daily cigarettes, when my twin sister Frankie swanned in and walked over to the drinks cart. "Well, don't you have a tiger by the tail," she said, picking up a crystal decanter with a wicked little grin. "You know, sooner or later, the liquor agents are going to realize we don't keep it for medicinal reasons. And when they do, I'll happily defend us in court." I raised my half-empty glass to her. "We're rather low on the list, considering those dreadful gin joints you frequent." "Oh, they just pay off the coppers." Iridescent beads flashing and cut velvet draperies flying, she threw herself onto the old satin-covered chaise lounge and kicked off her shoes. "You, of course, would never consider such a thing." "Indeed not." "Well, you may want to reconsider if you go to trial on the Armitage murder. Bribing the detectives may be your only shot." "Is that your professional opinion?" I asked. Frankie, stretched and contemplating, looked remarkably like a scene from a Clara Bow movie. She turned down one of Bow's breakthrough roles because she was tired of Hollywood, the flickers, and especially of playing jazz babies. These days, Frankie was my investigator. Her mild fame and easy charm caught people off guard. Everyone from doormen to librarians to cheating husbands told her things they would never admit in court, enabling her to turn up very useful evidence. Not to mention a very nearly supernatural sense of character. I'm a good judge of people, but Frankie is better. Though she was tired of playing flappers, Frankie was undoubtedly a fine, real-life example of the breed, complete with bobbed hair, short skirts, and a wicked Charleston, and an only slightly exaggerated belief in free love. She was also beautiful, with curly red hair and blue-green eyes, and a smile that makes her look like a fallen angel. I'm the plain one, with the wire-rimmed glasses, black hair back in an unfashionable knot, and simple, tailored suits. You might take me for the stay-at older sister, and I suppose I am, though I'm only a few minutes older. From the time I was a little girl, I wanted to be a barrister, like our British father, who trained as one before acceding to the title. But it was much easier for a woman to get into court in our American mother's home, so I shipped off to New York. Just as well, considering Frankie had already landed here, and I don't like being far from my twin. We've been together most of the time since we were born, even when we ran off to serve as VADs together in the war, though the Red Cross put me in charge of a ward and sent intrepid Frankie out to drive ambulances. Enough to say that neither of us will ever be afraid again. We had seen and survived the worst before our 18th birthday. Not that we discuss it. "Well, Flory," Frankie said, as a surprisingly dainty sip of whiskey, "your client was the only one in the house when it happened, and the police found no evidence of a break-in." "She was the only family member home," I clarified. "Ah, the staff," Frankie raised her glass. "A good point, but the coppers still like to start with the wife." "But they have no idea how he died." "Not true. They know it was electricity. They just don't know how he got it." "Close enough." I regretted the words even as they crossed my lips. Neither Frankie, nor anyone else involved in a murder case, could accept close enough. "I've taught you better than that, Flory." Our older half-brother, the noted criminologist Lord James St. Aubyn, walked through the pocket door, glaring. I rose from my chair to top up my glass. One great advantage to our mother's old townhouse in Washington Square was having my office right across from the family parlor. Great disadvantage, too, because any number of well-meaning and intermittently helpful relatives might appear to offer advice. "About time you got here, Jamie." Frankie raised her glass but didn't stir from the chase. I moved to the drink carts. "Well, since you two young ladies are already into the whiskey, I supposed I might as well." "We aren't that young," I reminded him, pouring. "Young enough." Jamie took the glass with a scowl. "I remember when you two were stealing Patter's law books and Mama's librettos." Frankie sighed, motioning to one of the big wing chairs with her glass. Yes. Now sit down and make yourself useful." "That's a nice way for a sister to talk," he grumbled. "Did your wife send you to us for a decent meal?" I asked. "Mrs. Grosney is making a lovely roast chicken." Jamie tried not to scowl and broke into a laugh. "What would you two maiden ladies do without her?" "Likely starve," Frankie said. "And don't insult us by calling us maidens." "I wouldn't dream of it." He sat down in the big wing chair. "Masha's at a Refugee Aid Society meeting tonight, so yes, if you have a crumb to spare, I should be most grateful." "Good," I said. "We'll get you properly fed." "And you'll have to sing for your supper, though," Frankie added. "Oh?" he said. "This one," she nodded to me, "has taken the Armitage murder." "Well, you needed a challenge." Jamie took a sip of his whiskey. "Get her acquitted and you make your career." "Exactly," I said, "but perhaps not an acquittal. Perhaps an outright dismissal." "You want to ask for a preliminary hearing?" Jamie asked, eyes widening. "I do." I took a sip of whiskey as I collected my thoughts. "As it stands right now, they barely have enough evidence to support the charge." "How so?" asked Jamie. "This is the close enough part." Frankie shook her head and her red curls bounced. "No," I replied patiently. "All the police have is the fact that they were home together that night. In their separate bedrooms, of course. They cannot find the murder weapon, never mind put it in her hand." "They're looking for an electrical device?" Jamie asked. "Yes, but none of the ones that they have match the burn pattern," I said, continuing in a resolutely clinical tone. "Not to mention that it was in, as the medical examiner put it, the anal and perineal region." "Oh, really?" Frankie giggled. "Brings a whole new meaning to toasting the buns." "Hush, Francis," I glared. Jamie became very interested in his whiskey, his ears turning bright pink. "Really, Frankie," I said, "I highly doubt it was any kind of kitchen device, assuming she even knew how to use it." "There are other devices," Frankie chuckled as she sipped her whiskey. "Iron? Hair curler? I snorted. Please, this woman probably can't button her own dress without help. I wasn't thinking of a curling iron, Frankie said. Jamie shot her a look. Whatever it was, he said in a serious Big Brother tone, she is the most easy and obvious suspect simply by being there. And the police certain are the police certain that they were alone? Asked Frankie. Other than the butler, Mr. Chesney, an officious older fellow who lives in, and perhaps a maid or two. My sister let out a snort. Oh no, Jamie said. You don't think... The butler did it, Frankie laughed. That would be far too convenient. Well, surely the police would have cleared him before arresting Mrs. Armitage, I said. You can hope, Jamie replied. But remember, there are still plenty of those Tammany Hall hacks running around, and who knows what might have been missed or buried. Well, isn't that just what I want to hear? I drained my whiskey glass and looked at Frankie. How do you like the chatting with the servants? Staff, please, and I love it. I'll go charm Mr. Chesney in the morning. An old classmate of mine works in the medical examiner's office, Jamie said. I'll take him to lunch tomorrow. Good. I'll look into the finances and probate documents and see if Mrs. Armitage had any real motive to kill her husband. You know, for many matrons of her age, their financial and social status draws a great deal on their man's. He might have been worth more to her alive. Or she might have had no reason to eliminate him. Jamie took a sip of whiskey. Other than the encumbrances of a husband, Frankie chuckled. Can't imagine why anyone would want one. Oh, there are compensations to marriage. You don't need to marry for that, she reminded him. Free love, you know. Free love isn't free, I said, hoping to cut off the perennial argument. Let's table the murder talk for a while and enjoy dinner. Roast chicken? Asked Jamie. With scalloped potatoes, spiced carrots, and meringue torte for dessert. Lead on, Macduff. I feel the need to apologize. It's just allergy season and it just keeps trying to choke me.
Is Macduff a Shakespeare reference?
I believe Macduff is a Shakespeare reference.
But I don't get it.
Either that or it's a duck reference, like Donald Duck or Daffy Duck, but I'm guessing Shakespeare.
What, it said McDuck?
Duff.
It said
Macduff.
Oh, what made you think about Looney Tunes then?
Because they do have a character that's similarly named.
Daffy?
No, it was it the uncle?
Huh.
I don't remember. It's been a long time. You're like, how old are you and how long ago were we watching those shows?
Who knows? Well, I watched The Tragedy of Macbeth like yesterday, like last night.
And you did?
Yeah, which is why you said Macduff, and I was like, the character from last night? And then
yes, because I psychically know what you watched last night.
Well, no, but then I'm trying to figure out what the reference is, because maybe I just don't know it. Onward Macduff? Is that a line from the play that I just didn't pay attention to?
I don't know it that well. Lead on, Macduff.
Lead on, Macduff. Kathleen, can you explain that one to me?
Jack wants to know where the lead on Macduff line is from.
Yes. Wait, am I interviewing Kathleen?
You told me you were interviewing Kathleen.
I'm interviewing.
I don't know if you told Kathleen that you're interviewing her.
I haven't. Look, I haven't thought that far ahead. This is a new thing I'm trying. This is only interview number 3. I should have looked up who I'm doing and So, folks, stick around till the end of this episode and you'll find out whether or not I interviewed Kathleen.
While we're announcing things, Jack and I have started memberships for Mysteries to Die For.
Yes.
So there are 3 tiers available. The Grave Diggers Union, which is our free tier.
Our free tier.
The Cadaver Collective, which is $4 a month.
$4 buckaroos.
And the Preservationist Society, which is $8 a month.
$8.
We're starting memberships to help pay for our real live human authors.
Like Kathleen here.
To keep the software working, Jack was just trying to download a piece of software minutes before we started recording.
Yeah, I didn't have to pay for that one, though, so that's not a good example. That was free.
And the avoided use of ads.
Ads. I really thought you were going to say AI, and I was like, what do we use AI for?
We don't use AI.
Yeah, okay. Never mind.
If you want to love our show, but you aren't ready for a commitment, we have set up tipping available so that you can go ahead and leave us a tip. And we are asking for a very funny, punny note.
Yeah, if you leave us a tip, you also got to pay us in a joke. Yeah, it's the only way you're allowed to give us money is if you also give us a joke. Yep, we'll give it back.
Links are in the show notes and on our website, m2d4podcast.com.
Yeah, so go check it out, fellas.
I
could really use a nice new microphone. I'm kidding. We have very nice new microphones, actually.
Well, they're not new, but they're nice.
Well, they're new. Well, yeah, I guess they're like
4 years old.
Yeah,
but we bought good ones, so
they're gonna stick around for another 10 seasons.
I think we could use one more. Maybe we talked about getting one more.
Yeah, I have one at my apartment that I.
It's not this brand though.
It is.
What are we using?
It doesn't have the switcher on it. We have mute switches on these mics, and the old one that didn't have the mute switch I took, and now I use for like recording.
And Jack really doesn't like the switches on these. They make too much noise.
Yeah, I was hoping they seem convenient, but like, guys, listen to this. Here, listen to the switches. You hear that?
You realize that's the second time in a row where we have paused the show so you could make noise for the audience to hear. Yes, last time it was the sound of our soundproofing. Now it's the sound of the switches on our microphones.
Guys, I feel the need for our audience to hear what I hear. They need to know my plight.
Yes, I agree. I just think it's hysterical. You can tell how into sound you are. It's like...
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right.
You can replace my microphone.
Connecting the circuit. A morning of being leered at and belittled by the Armitage family's civil attorney paid off in much useful information. After reading the will and the documentation of the family's holdings and moving briskly to the door to prevent any untoward advances, I was confident that I could prove Mrs. Armitage had no motive. The staff, though, certainly did. Mr. Chesney, the butler, Clarendon, the social secretary, and even 2 long-serving housemaids were all in line for bequests. Larger amounts for the men, but still significant for the maids. At least 4 other people with motive, while the wife had none. Of course, the district attorney is not required to prove motive, but it would certainly give the jury pause, and, more to the point, likely a judge. Lack of motive plus weak circumstantial evidence and my client's exalted social position and the great difficulty for males to envision females as killers all added up to reasonable doubt. With a sketch of those arguments, I requested and got a preliminary hearing. My client's name, or possibly my mentor's, was probably why it was scheduled for late the next day. But I'm not in the habit of examining the dentistry of gift horses. Back in my Washington Square office that afternoon, I was drafting arguments, drinking coffee, and trying very hard to ignore my cigarette box when Frankie arrived. "So?" I asked, motioning to the pot. "Have a cup?" She took off her cloche hat and shook out her curls. "I'm sorry, but coffee isn't going to do it." "It's only 3:30, I argued. "It's past 5 in London," she countered, "and more to the point, I've earned a drop." "Oh?" I asked. "Indeed I have, and you will just have to wait until I refresh myself." While she strode across the hall, I put markers in my law book and took off my glasses. "You know, Florrie, a bob and some rouge would do wonders for you," Frankie said as she returned, glass in hand. "Thank you, but no. What did you find out?" "Oh, fine. We'll come back to this." I had no doubt. "So that Chesney fellow, the butler, is vile." She draped herself over my guest chair, crossing her legs, dangling a shoe from her toes, but easily manipulated. And what is his story? He initially told the police he heard Mrs. Armitage screaming in her husband's bedroom and came running to find the Mr. lying neatly dead in bed. I'm reasonably certain he's lying about the neatly part. The dead in bed? I'm not so sure. So he could be an accomplice to someone else? Frankie gestured with her glass. Like your client. No help, I know. No. But then there's the upstairs maid. She told me that the Armitage's room are not adjoining, which is the usual, and that the butler actually found Mr. Armitage. Why lie? Why indeed, Frankie grinned. There's more. She saw the butler taking something down to the next door dustbin while Mrs. Armitage screamed and howled in her husband's bedroom. Something, I asked? An item that might explain everything. Really? Really? Frankie's grin faded to an expression of disgust. It's rather awful. I'm afraid. Florrie! Sometimes James has the absolute worst timing, and he always assumes that we could not be possibly doing anything more interesting than listening to him. Masha is making stroganoff tonight, so I dare not be late, but I wanted to tell you I think I can match the marks on Mr. Armitage's body. Jamie handed me a folder, blushing to the roots of his ginger hair. I am sorry, sis, but I can't possibly explain this to you face to face. He looked from Frankie to me and back again, squirming like an uncomfortable little boy. Anyhow, take a look and ask Frankie to explain anything you don't understand, and if you need me to write a report, I will. Don't worry, Jamie, Frankie assured him, motioning with her glass. We'll have a nice chat over whiskey and cigs and be ready for court tomorrow. Court tomorrow? He turned to me, eyes wide. You're doing the preliminary? Yes. She had no financial motive to kill him. The only evidence against her is circumstantial, even before what you and Frankie found. Jamie took a deep breath and sighed as only a man with a Scottish grandmother can. Well, this will either convince the judge she could not have done it, or repulse him so much he'll send her straight to the chair. I glared. That is not an option, and you know it. Good thing for you, Jamie replied with a dark scowl and then looked at the clock. I really must go. Musha Stroganoff waits for no man. Frankie and I laughed. Jamie takes considerable pleasure in playing the henpecked husband. Frankie rose and gave him a kiss on the cheek as he ran out the door, then crossed to me, pulling out her cigs and lighter. Here, you're gonna need this. What? I asked, taking one of the Dunhills. I'm no delicate flower. Well, neither am I, but this is not your usual electrocution. The maid had found a vibrating medicinal device used to treat muscular injuries. During the war, I had seen and used similar devices many times to ease the pain and discomfort of patients in the hospital ward. Harmless enough, I thought. We looked at Jamie's diagrams and notes, and I suddenly understood perfectly. No wonder Jamie did not want to talk about it with me. I chose to find it amusing rather than offensive that he assumed Frankie would be aware of what was in play, but I would not. After all, I may not be a disciple of free love, but I'd been engaged and enjoyed the privileges before I buried my fiancé in khaki. And there was absolutely no way I would ever admit to Jamie, that Frankie did, in fact, clarify a few things about the ways adults might seek pleasure. Not just with electric current, either. All told, I was quite confident when I went off to bed, with a rather old-fashioned novel, that I had everything I needed to clear my client. Perhaps a bit less confident about explaining it, though. All right, Jack, we are at the deliberation. We are there.
Man, some of these stories, I feel like we get so little before the deliberation, and it's like, how is something in there? It's like, next chapter, I have to guess now? What is there?
Okay. Up-and-coming attorney Flora St. Auburn has a career case on her desk.
Yas.
She is sure the case against Beatrice Armitage is circumstantial.
Absolutely, completely circumstantial.
But it would put her over the top if she could point the finger at the person responsible for Mr. Armitage's death.
Yes. And then she would have big career time.
Uh-huh.
Yay.
So here are the people in the house that evening.
Okay.
Mr. Archibald Armitage.
Archibald.
Food magnate.
Food magnet.
Mrs. Beatrice Armitage.
Yes.
Social elitist.
So, interesting.
Mr. Chesney, the butler, haughty
yes.
like his employers.
Very haughty.
The upstairs maid.
Uh-huh.
Nice as far as we know.
As far as we know.
Neil Clarendon, Mrs. Armitage's secretary.
His name is Neil Clarendon. Is he a pill? He an allergy pill? Great joke, guys. That was an A+ joke on Jack's part. I hope you guys are excited for more.
All right, so here are the facts Florrie is working with.
Yes.
Mr. Armitage was found dead in his bed, having died sometime during the night.
Uh-huh.
He wore his nightshirt
Uh-huh.
and had burn marks on his butt.
Uh-huh.
A police officer reported that he had a surprised expression on his face.
Ooh.
Electrocution was the official cause of death.
Now, would it be wrong to say there is no killer? It just, he was trying something and something got unplugged and whoop.
There are no, what did you say? Would it be improper? There are no improprieties. Well, I guess in 1927 there were, but there are none mysteries to die for.
No. Okay, it wasn't an accident. Wait. What?
What?
What did you say?
What did you say?
I don't know, the look you gave me made me think I misunderstood every word you said.
Well, I thought I misunderstood every word you said.
Keep reading.
Mrs. Armitage and the butler reported that she found the body and was screaming hysterically when the butler arrived.
Yeah.
This was contradicted by the upstairs maid who said the butler had found him.
So wait, the butler says she found him.
Mm-hmm.
And
the upstairs maid says the butler found him.
Do we know anything about what the woman said?
Mrs. Armitage?
Yeah.
I believe she said she found him.
So both she and the butler say she found him. Interesting.
And the upstairs maid says the butler found him.
Okay.
There were no electrical devices found in the bedroom. Those found elsewhere in the house were not a match for the marks on the body.
Indeed.
The upstairs maid reported seeing the butler take something out to the neighbor's garbage. It was recovered and found to be a medical device for massaging muscles.
So that's definitely what murdered him.
Mm-hmm. Only the 4 people listed, 4 or 5, were in the house.
Yeah.
I don't remember now if the secretary sleeps there or not. Oh, no, the secretary was not in the house. 4 people in the house. Mr. Armitage, Mr. and Mrs. Armitage, although they had separate bedrooms.
Uh-huh.
The upstairs maid and the butler were in their respective places.
Uh-huh.
And the secretary was not in the house.
Who's the secretary?
Neil Clarendon.
Neil is a man.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Armitage continued making money in the family tradition, finding new and creative ways to cut corners while increasing the bottom line.
Right. So he made enemies by doing that, right? He pissed off people going, you get less safety.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was safety so much as, ew,
Right,
you're
okay.
selling rotten meat.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he sold meat.
Yep. I think he sells a little bit of everything.
He does it all. He's a jack of all trades.
Mrs. Armitage was famous for her mistreatment of her staff and belittling all she felt were under her social class.
Yeah, it seems like she did that a lot.
The will and estate distribution gives Mrs. Armitage no motive for killing her husband. He was worth more to her alive than dead.
Yeah.
The butler and the secretary received the nice sums from the will, and the upstairs maid received a lesser amount.
So, I never understand that. He's married. The spouse is alive. Why is the will being read?
I don't know.
So I guess he was just like, my wife does not get to keep all of our stuff?
Maybe back in the 1927,
Maybe.
the rules were different.
Possibly. Interesting. Anyway, continue.
So who introduced Mr. Armitage to the killer alternating current?
I haven't a clue. I think it could be the upstairs maid. she's pretty innocent looking, but he could be cheating, right? And then she tried to frame the butler by saying, the butler found him. And then the other two both went, no, the butler did not find him, you weirdo.
You definitely have conflicting reports right there.
There's a lot of conflicting reports. It's all pointing to the butler. So it can't be the butler. The rules in my head tell me I'm not allowed to pick the butler because it's too obvious it's him. It can't be him. The upstairs maid, I don't really get it being her. Like, I don't really see the secretary's motive either. The secretary just doesn't like them? Because they're mean? No, wait, does the secretary even have a motive?
I don't know. Let me scroll back up because it says that money was left to the staff. Let me make sure that the secretary was included because it was his wife's secretary.
Oh.
I guess he could be their like as a couple, their social secretary.
Yeah, what's a social secretary?
A person who makes your appointments. Like in a modern day, they would be answering your emails, setting up your social media. I think if you just go back to 1927 when everything was written, they'd be opening the letters.
Yeah.
Maybe taking dictation.
Okay, I see that. Yeah, I really don't know who it is. I am trying to look for like the clue that says it has to be this person. But I just don't know I know. Honestly, I feel like it's the butler. I don't really see how it's anyone else. If it's someone else, then the butler either, why did he throw away the murder weapon? Because if he did chuck it out and find it, the maid said that he did that though, didn't she? So again, if she's framing him, she could have done that, said it's him.
I will point out that something that medical device was found in the neighbor's garbage.
It was in the neighbor's garbage?
Yes. So not in their own dustbin, but in the neighbor's.
Yeah, but didn't she say that she saw the butler go and take it out to the trash?
She did. And what I'm saying is that when Frankie went and looked, she did find something there.
Did I say something that made it seem like I didn't know that? What?
The way you said it was like, well, the maid said the butler did it, but we don't have any proof that he did it. And I'm just reminding you that they did find something in that garbage can.
We don't have any proof he's the one who took it out. She could have been the one to take it out. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. We know it's out there.
I thought you were doubting that something was taken out.
No, I'm doubting who did it.
Gotcha.
So, because right now there are two lies that exist, two contradictions, and both of them are between the maid and the butler.
So what's the consistency?
What's consistent? I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Read the deliberation again. Just the full thing. Bullet points. Shoot them at me.
Mr. Armitage was found dead in his bed.
So everyone knows he's dead. That's consistent.
Having died sometime during the night.
Yeah.
He wore his nightshirt.
Yeah.
And had burn marks on his butt.
Yeah. That's consistent.
Police officer reported he had a surprised expression on his face.
No one's doubting that, right?
Electrocution is the official cause of death.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You're good there? That was the first.
Yeah.
Okay. Mrs. Armitage and the butler reported that she found the body and was screaming hysterically when the butler arrived.
So screaming, she found the body, butler shows up.
This was contradicted by the upstairs maid who said the butler found him.
And now she says the opposite.
Who's she?
Maid.
The maid says the butler found him.
Yes, the opposite.
Okay, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. There were no electrical devices found in the bedroom.
Yes, it's missing. It's disappeared.
Those found elsewhere in the house were not a match for the marks on the body.
Uh-huh.
The upstairs maid reported seeing the butler take something out to the neighbor's garbage.
Yeah.
It was recovered and found to be a medical device used for massaging muscles. Tea needed.
Yeah, so, okay, here's the thing. I don't know. I'm just going to say it's the maid.
Going with the maid.
Going with the maid.
All right, he's going with the maid. Armchair detectives, I hope you have locked in on your suspect for who is responsible for the killer alternating current as we go into Florrie Throws the Switch. And then, as my dear mother would say, it was showtime. I looked up at the judge and called my star witness. Defense calls Miss Frances Shane. Frankie had taken our mother's stage name when she began her career in the Flickers and kept it to honor her. She walked to the stand, beautiful and exotic as always, in a wine-colored wool day dress that set off her pale skin and brilliant hair. A little buzz rippled through the gallery. They'd been quiet for the first witnesses, but everyone understood the headliner had now arrived. Revised statements from the butler and upstairs maid, in which the butler admitted finding the body, and both agreed Mrs. Armitage had taken a sleeping draught and spent the night in her room, had occasioned little comment, even if there were evidence of Frankie's good work. The medical examiner's testimony had been dry and clinical, if a bit gruesome. Mr. Armitage had been electrocuted by some kind of shock, apparently introduced in his privates, based on the singed hair and burn marks. The last gave me a flashback to the hospital ward somewhere in France, and I had to blink hard to clear it as the doctor stepped down. Something in Frankie's careful calm suggested that she had a similar memory, and I gave her a moment to settle after she was sworn. The first few questions were routine, explaining Frankie's status as a licensed private investigator, my engaging her for the case, where she'd been and whom she'd seen. As we moved through the testimony, Mrs. Armitage began to tense and then squirm in her seat. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw my client fussing with her cuffs, her wedding ring, and finally clutching the little gold cross at her neck as her face took a strange, blotchy appearance. Well, of course, she was nervous. This seemed more than that, though. As we moved into the meat of the questioning, I sent Mrs. Armitage a sharp glare. Sit down and let me do my job. She took a deep breath and folded her hands, but one finger kept tapping on the ring. And so, Miss Shane, while you were visiting the Armitage home yesterday, did you have occasion to talk to the staff? I did, she answered. And did one of them see someone bringing out an item from the house? Tap, 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 as my client's finger moved furiously. Yes, the second-floor housemaid saw Mr. Chesney, the butler, taking an item to the dustbin next door. And did you find that item? The tap became a pounding noise as my client shook in her chair, the uneven legs bouncing back and forth. Yes, I did. Please tell the court what it was, I said. And then all hell broke loose. No, Mrs. Armitage cried, leaping to her feet and knocking over a chair. I confess, I did it. I killed him. Oh, shut up, Frankie snapped from the stand. You did not. Mrs. Armitage swelled in outrage. Tell your slut of a sister to let me... Shut up, I hissed, crushing the short distance to my client. Just let me confess, she howled. Order, snapped the judge, banging his gavel. Control your client, Miss St. Aubin. Yes, Your Honor. As I spoke, I took her hand and squeezed, with a careful, deadly gaze, keeping my voice absolutely cool. Sit down. No matter what happens, the truth is going to come out. You cannot stop it. But, and if you ever call my sister that name again, I tightened my grip. You'll wish you got the electric chair. Mrs. Armitage gasped like a stranded fish and sat. Continue, the judge nodded to me. Thank you, Your Honor. I apologize for my client's outburst. She's understandably overwrought. The judge growled. Now, Miss Shane, I said, turning back to the witness box, please tell me what the second-floor housemaid showed you in the next-door dustbin. An electric vibrating device. Even my uninhibited sister had just a bit of difficulty reeling that off in a cool, crystalline diction. And a vibrating device intended for treating muscle injuries and such, Frankie said, though it is sometimes put to certain personal uses? The judge's ears began to turn pink and he cleared his throat. Miss Shane, no more detail than absolutely necessary. Yes, Your Honor. Frankie nodded, keeping an impassive, professional face. Believe me, sir, neither the defense counsel nor I, as nice maiden ladies, have any need to discuss this in depth. Maiden ladies, indeed. The jurist nodded and turned to me with a fatherly, Counselor? What did you do with said device? I asked. I handed it over to the police. Defense Exhibit A, Your Honor, I said. A photo of the device, clearly showing its frayed cord and burnt housing. The judge took the print. Thank you, Miss St. Aubin. Prosecutor? The prosecution has not had time to consider this evidence, sputtered the senior assistant DA, disturbed from his visions of headlines, and the defendant just confessed. Because of her great shame, I said. Please note the metal housing of the device and the burn marks on the deceased as sketched in the medical examiner's report. The judge looked at the papers and then glared over his glasses at me. Ugly business, Miss St. Aubin. I quite agree, Your Honor. I nodded to my client. Mrs. Armitage would prefer to face a murder conviction, and quite possibly the ultimate penalty, than to have the world know what happened in that bedroom. And no wonder. Could there be anything more embarrassing than one husband shuffling off the mortal coil while amusing himself with a defective electrical device? I doubt it. How do I know she was not there or a participant? Asked the judge. The butler, Mr. Chesney, found Mr. Armitage in the morning, clearly dead for some time, and despite a financial motive to see her convicted, both Mr. Chesney and the maid agreed Mrs. Armitage took her sleeping draught at 10 p.m. and stayed in her room all night. The most she is guilty of is pulling down his nightshirt and asking Mr. Chesney to dispose of the device. A judicious nod, and as His Honor studied the photo and sketches again and then looked up to the prosecutor. There seems to be a reasonable doubt embedded here. The prosecutor winced and tried one more time. It is a matter for a jury to decide. He didn't even sound like he believed it. The judge was not swayed. I am not putting a jury, Mrs. Armitage, and the city through such a filthy trial. Absolutely not, Counselor. It is far more in the best interest of decent people of New York that this matter go away and never be spoken of again. I waited. Charges dismissed with prejudice. He banged the gavel. I hope your next case is more appropriate for you, Miss St. Aubin, and your lovely sister. Frankie and I gave him demure nods. Only on the way out did she whisper, Good thing I just got a new box of cigs from London. Epilogue. Lights out. A few hours later, Bernice Armitage had returned to her lair, presumably to plot her social comeback. Frankie and I had adjourned to Washington Square, where we were enjoying a well-earned whiskey and cigarettes. The evening edition, little sisters, Jamie called as he strode into the parlor. And put those things out. Filthy habit. We smoke one a day, I said. Unless it's been a trying day, Frankie admitted, taking a deep drag of her second. She actually smokes a bit more, but Jamie has no need to know. Oh, fine, fine. Jamie shook his head and handed over the paper. More importantly, Sibs, you're a sensation. Society matron cleared by twin flappers, screamed the headline. The subhead was at least accurate. Attorney and investigator found the scandalous truth. Oh dear. I took a deep sip of whiskey. Twin flappers, Frankie scowled. No one even says flapper anymore. Never mind that, Jamie said, holding up the paper to read. The beautiful and brilliant sisters, daughters of a duke and a diva, managed to solve an intractable puzzle and win the freedom of Mrs. Beatrice Armitage. Frankie grinned and blew a smoke ring. Looks like you're on your way, Flory. We're on our way. Jamie took my glass and raised it. Cheers to you, Sibs. You light up the city. The end.
I was right.
You You were wrong.
I was right. At the beginning of this, I went...
At the beginning.
You know what? It's going to just be that
Yes.
it just was. He just did it to himself. I was right.
And you never came back to that. And I kept waiting for you to get that, the way he was using the device, he probably was alone since his wife wasn't with him. And you're like, the butler was with him. I'm like, boy, I hope not. The maid was with him.
Well, then why did they throw it away before the police showed up?
Because it was scandalous.
Because it was scandalous.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess. Nothing's funnier to me than they're in this murder court and they would rather talk about a guy being dead than a guy doing that to himself.
Yeah.
Nothing more, like, really, like, murder is more okay. It's easier for you to talk about this guy dying than it is.
Yeah. Yep.
Like his sexual tendencies. That is funny.
Yeah, I think that's the total reason. So I guess it's, left maybe when you interview Kathleen, you can ask her the whole idea of, did the butler, realize what the situation was and took it upon himself to throw the device away? Or did he straighten things up? The wife came in and then, she said to get rid of it.
Yeah. The contradictions between the butler and the maid ended up just being a red herring. That was just probably just a genuine misunderstanding?
Well, no, the butler and Mrs. Armitage did lie about who found him. I mean, they said the butler...
Did I miss that entirely?
No, you caught on to it. You were just taking that they were the ones telling the truth and the maid was lying, where it was the maid was telling the truth and the butler and Mrs. Armitage were lying.
Why?
Because the butler and Mrs. Armitage said that Mrs. Armitage found her husband.
Yeah, I mean, why did they lie? What was the point of them lying?
I guess I don't know exactly why they lied, but they did.
So that was the red herring. Either way, yeah. No, I was just saying like there's an inconsistency there, yes, but there is no resolve to it. If anything, so the maid was right. The two of them lied. Maybe they were just trying to cover up for themselves. They didn't want to say they found him the way they found him.
Oh, I think that was totally it.
But yeah.
Why they thought it would be more maybe proper for the wife to find him?
Maybe.
I don't know. That I don't know the answer
but between the two of them, I don't think it made a difference. So that's why I didn't know.
No.
Interesting. Well, very neat. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if we have Kathleen doing an interview. So
I guess you should email her when we finish.
No. So I will. So if you heard at the beginning of this episode a little snippet of me going, hey, guess what, guys? She's going to be being interviewed. Then I did get her. But as of right now, I don't know. So
wait, you can't go back and edit. We do these live. Front to back, no fix, no takes, or retake. You never let me fix anything.
No, I've had to go back in the past and add in ads, basically, that just say who is showing up.
Oh.
It's mostly just stuff I forgot to say. So at the beginning of this episode,
he did that. I thought we were being honest about doing things live.
It is live.
Ish.
Except for the 15 seconds at the start of the episode.
Live to tape.
Yeah. So if there's that little 15 thing at the beginning. So anyway.
So let me introduce a little bit about Kathleen.
You're going to introduce her before we do the interview? Okay.
So she describes herself as an author, anchor, and mom, not necessarily in that order. A regional Edward R. Murrow Award-winning weekend anchor at New York's 101 Winds Radio. She writes mysteries, both long and short. Her 11 published stories include the Old Stuff and Ella Shane series at Level Best Books, including the upcoming A Fatal Flourish, you heard about that one in the pre-roll, featuring Flora and Frankie's parents. As Nikki Knight, she writes the Vermont Radio and the Gracie the Hit Mom series. Her stories under both pen names have appeared in Alfred Hitchcock's mystery magazine, Black Cat Weekly, and many anthologies, including 2 Derringer Award finalists. She has also been a finalist for Agatha, Derringer, National Excellence in Storytelling, and Black Orchid Novella Awards. She serves on the National Board of Sisters in Crime. She and her husband and son live in a Connecticut house owned by their cat. Now, let's get to know Kathleen a little bit more. Jack recently, somewhere in the future, had the opportunity to connect with her and ask about the Jack facts like only he can do.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, possibly, Kathleen. Hello, everyone. I am here with Kathleen Marple Kalb. Hello.
Hi there. How you doing?
Good. It's great to have you here. I'm really glad that we have you as our very third interviewee on the podcast. It's a brand new little thing we're doing, so I'm still kind of figuring it out, and I think we're getting there. It's going well.
Cool.
So we're going to jump
great.
right in. Thank you. We've been trying. To some avail, at least. So here we go. We'll get started. First question. Now, you have described yourself as an author, an anchor, and a mom. How do you feel that these many hats you wear contribute to your mysteries?
Well, I think they give me a perspective on a bunch of different things. As an anchor, I write about radio with the background of a radio lifer because I've been doing radio since I was a teenager, which is a lot longer ago than I'm going to admit in this forum. And as an author, I'm a relatively new author, but I started writing when I was 16, or before, when I was in middle school, really. I started writing, and I tried to sell my first novel at 16, so I've been doing this for a while with varying levels of success. And of course, being a suburban mom is its own whole thing. And actually, one of the characters, one of the series that I write, is a suburban mom who has a secret life as an assassin. And that's something that really literally grew out of being a weekday mom and weekend anchor in New York City, because I would be sitting there talking about the weather with the other moms in the pickup pen, and we're thinking, okay, tomorrow I've got to go in there and make sure that what is one of the top shows in the market sounds like it's supposed to do. And so I'm an entirely different secret life kind of thing going on. So, and I've always felt like a spy or an assassin with this secret life. So they all kind of feed into each other. It's kind of neat.
Now, you mentioned it a little bit before, but you write contemporary mysteries under your pen name, Nikki Knight, and historical mysteries under your own name. What attracts you to the Gilded Age time period for your Ella Shane mystery series?
There's two time periods that I really like. I like the Renaissance time period and the Victorian era, and Gilded Age really is late Victorian. And Queen Victoria actually dies in the 6th Ella Shane book. The death of Queen Victoria is a plot point. So it's the very end of the Victorian, the early Edwardian era. But that's why in the U.S. we call it the Gilded Age, because we're not going to mess with who was king or whatever at the time.
Yeah.
And what draws me to that era is it's very much like the world that we live in now. Yet it's recognizable as a world that we might know, but it's very different. The day, time and day, and there are trains, and people get up in the morning and go to work, and people live in live in a family house with their spouse and children. Middle class families have a house, and they live there with their family and children, and people go to work. It's recognizable as us, as places that we would know, but it's also completely different. People, you can die from from scratching your hand on a nail, which we obviously, as long as you please get your tetanus shot, that doesn't happen now. That people are literally starve in the streets because there's no social safety net, and so there's stuff that is not, and of course women are property, which is thankfully not the way it is now. So it's recognizable as a time that we would understand to some degree, but it's also completely different, and it's also different in fun ways. In addition to all the the bad stuff, the infection and death and misery and all that, it's also different in fun ways. The clothes and all of the quote unquote history porn. Sitting down and having tea, and people have these great spreads of tea, and people wear their hats, and they have I think one of the things that I do when I write Gilded Age is I think it's my obligation, and I think readers expect to know most of the time what the main characters are wearing, the females. Guys and males in general are in a suit. That's it might vary here and there, but I think that readers kind of expect to hear what the ladies are wearing, and they want to know what nice little details about it.
Yeah, I know one of my favorite aspects of just the historical era, and most parts of it that are just like before the 90s, is the limitation of technology. When I watch any piece of media nowadays, you have to basically have like cell phones get turned off in some regard, or else like you could have just called the guy, you could have researched this, you could have looked it up, Googled it. So there's so many we have so much access to everything nowadays that being able to set anything in the past, oh, you can just do so much with the plot, so much more than you could today without
but
holes.
but the recent past is like that too. It's I've written a couple of stories involving a 1980s PI in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And it's actually really fun to write her because she can, she gets phone calls. She can, and she can she has a little bit of computer stuff. She's a PI with a legal background. So she can do she can do LexisNexis. She can do some computer record searches, but she doesn't have the internet the way we do. And so it's fascinating because you know where the limitations are, and it's really fun to play with those. And even more so in the Gilded Age setting, one of my main one of Ella's dear friends is a newspaper reporter, and more than once they've ended up in the newspaper morgue, which is how which is the equivalent of Wikipedia. Yep. But it's this this dusty place overseen by this tiny little cranky old man who's probably been there since they've been covering the newspaper. It's kind of a joke because Hetty's newspaper took over from an earlier one. And the joke is that the little old man who oversees the library has been there for 3 or 4 newspapers. So, and that's kind of a riff on the media industry changeovers that we are used to now. So it's fun.
Yeah. Now, going on to your social media a little bit, your cats hold prime real estate on your social media platforms.
Yeah. Just an FYI, the calico Reba the diva is a real cat. She is the as it says in my bio, we live in a house owned by a large calico cat. She's the large calico cat who owns the house. Reba is real, and she owns the house, and she runs the place. And before Reba, there was Merritt. If you've been on my social media, if people who've followed me for longer, like we were there at the beginning, saw Merritt, a tuxie who was just really special to us, and we lost her a few years ago.
I'm sorry.
And she was my husband's girl. She got him through 2 rounds of cancer treatment, and she was my son's cat mom. She took care of him, and so she was a really special little girl. But Reba it's almost like Merritt sent Reba to us because she's the exact opposite in personality. I don't know. You're a cat person? You're not.
I'm a dog person. I have my dog sitting actually right below me right now.
Cool. We like dogs too. We just don't have them.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, we had my husband's aunt always had golden retrievers, and it was always a golden retriever named Hoku. Whatever the animal came as, it was always it was always a golden retriever, and whatever name it came with, it was Hoku. That was they named it, and Hoku was just the most loving. Not terrifyingly bright, but loving, wonderful dog. We loved her. But Reba she's just a little ball of love, but she's also like all calico cats, very extra in personality. She's a diva, and so she's a trip. She's wonderful, and it was exactly what we needed after this very sweet, loving, reserved tuxedo cat. We needed this diva to push us around. It was perfect.
Yep, I get that. I have a border collie now, and so she's kind of the same exact way. Just so much freaking energy.
She herds you, right? Reba will herd us. Reba herds us.
Wow.
Yeah. The other cat that you'll see on my social media, Neptune, who features in the Vermont Radio Mysteries, is actually not a real cat. He's a character.
Okay.
He's a character in the stories and the book. And now much of Neptune's social media comes from pictures of a late pet of ours. But Neptune's a character. He's not a real cat.
Interesting. I was wondering. I was going through there. I was like, these look like real pictures. Like that. They're also very pretty pictures.
Yeah, many of the pictures of Neptune come from Real Family Pictures, and some of the others are from Pixabay that I just carefully match to the family picture so that Neptune's presence is consistent.
All right. Well, wrapping up here, let's go into a fun one. Now, as an anchor, I have to ask you one like interview related, right? So if you could interview anyone throughout history who has committed a crime, who would it be and why?
Ooh. Okay. Mary Queen of Scots.
Okay, well, that's a good one. That's
because
wow.
I think she was in on the one. She committed at least 2 crimes that I know of. The plot for her the Kirko Field plot where they blew up the castle where Lord Darnley, her husband, was staying, I think she at least knew about it if she didn't actually take part in it. She at least knew and looked the other way. So that's one crime. The other one is she was definitely in on at least one of the plots against Elizabeth I.
Had to have been, yeah.
Yeah, right? So she qualifies as someone, and I've always thought she was fascinating because she was so entitled and privileged and cosseted at the beginning. And I mean, I don't think I would like her, but I think it would be fascinating to just find out what her motivation was like. And, you know, how do you get from here to there, and how do you live with yourself? How do you actually convince yourself that you're this big martyr thing when really you're just an entitled woman looking to get your way back, you know?
Her character development is crazy. It's wild.
Yes!
That would be absolutely fun to figure out.
Yeah, she's amazing. Someday I will probably try writing her, but Elizabeth I and Mary Queen of Scots have been done to death, and I can't find a way in because I don't like them. I don't like either one of them.
As people, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right. Well, to wrap up here, I'm going to ask you one last question for listeners. Now, do you have any projects that you are currently working on or are releasing soon?
Yes, I do. Thank you for asking. I am currently working on something that may end up that I may pitch to you for the next season, which is a Vermont radio story involving a lake monster.
Fun.
The lake monster will be involved in the solution of the mystery. So that may come together. And the other thing is, this April, coming up in April, is the very first book from, it's intended as a series starter, no guarantees yet, of the Roscoe Gang, called Working Vacations Will Kill You. And think of it as news radio meets the Expendables at a Maine resort with renegade lobsters. These former radio news people who have formed a crisis communications firm are on a working vacation at a conference in Maine when a chef ends up dead in his own clam bake.
Wow.
Hilarity ensues.
Now, do they eat the clam bake?
No, they do not eat the clam. I'm sorry, no. But Ralphie, the magisterial leader of the Roscoe Gang, is like the old voice of God anchor. They open the clam bake and it reveals the remains of the chef on top of the clams, you know, and it's very... And Ralphie looks at the scene and looks at everybody and goes, "Looks like we're going to need more butter."
That's a good one.
So,
well, thank you very much for coming on, Kathleen. It has been absolutely phenomenal getting to talk to you.
Thank you. This was tons of fun. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course. And now, listeners, I will let you get back to your regularly scheduled program. Goodbye. And welcome back. I hope there was an actual interview in there.
Well, Mysteries to Die For is proud to have Kathleen as one of our episode writers. Her stories continue to charm us for their characters and the mystery. Again, check out her website, KathleenMarpleKalb.com, and her socials, all under the handle Kathleen Marple Kalb, all one word, for more of her storytelling. That wraps up this episode of Mysteries to Die For. Support our show by subscribing, telling a mystery lover about us, giving us a review. Check out our website, m2d4podcast.com, for links to this season's authors, and follow us on our social, Facebook and Instagram. Mysteries to Die For is hosted by T.G. Wolfe and Jack Wolfe. The Current Situation was written by Kathleen Marple Kalb. Music and production are by Jack Wolfe. Episode art is by T.G. Wolfe. Join us next week for a toe tag, which is the first chapter from a fresh release in the mystery, crime, or thriller genre. Normally we would be back in 2 weeks, but we're going to take a week off for the July 4th holiday. Our next original story will drop on July 20th, where heat, pressure, chemical, and mechanical are all our sticky means of murder. It's Rendering the Truth by Chuck Brownman. All right, Jack, take us out.